Hey guys! From the body of a lady found in a bear to a little boy's remains found in a giant bird, here are the top 10 humans found inside animals. Number 10. Lady in the Bear. The human remains of a woman were recently found inside the belly of a black bear in Colorado. The bear was accused of killing a 39-year-old woman in an extremely rare attack. But not only were the woman's leftovers found in the 204-pound female bear, but also in two of her young cubs, according to Colorado Parks and Wildlife. Corey Chick, CBW manager of the Southwest region, said they could not determine how the attack took place or how exactly her remains got inside the bears' bellies. She was also not named for privacy reasons. Unfortunately, the bear had to be euthanized. Number 9. Body in a python. In Indonesia, a man's body was found inside of a massive python. Abkar Salubiro went missing on the island of Sulawesi after heading out to harvest some palm oil. The man was only 25 years old. Police told the BBC that following a search for the missing young man, they discovered an enormous snake with a rather suspicious bulge in its stomach. It was a reticulated python estimated to be over 23 feet in length. Fearing the worst, the authorities cut the snake open, and yes, the body of the missing man was found inside, but it was too late. Number 8. The Banker in the Shark. A banker working with Xanthos Investment was out fishing when he accidentally caught a shark. The shark was an impressive enough discovery, but it got even more incredible when the shark literally burped out a foot. Humphrey Simmons couldn't believe his eyes. He'd been out fishing with a group of his friends when the tiger shark bit his line. Simmons pulled the shark to the surface. His friend leaned in with a gun and shot the shark several times in the head, and that was when the enormous fish regurgitated a human foot complete from the knee down. At the same time that the shark puked up the foot, everyone on board smelt a horrible stink coming from the shark. They knew right away that they needed to open up the shark's belly and see what was inside. And, well, the shark had an entire body in its belly. Number 7. Farmer in the Alligator. Adelson de Oliveira vanished while working beside a river near his home. It's every family's nightmare to hear about a family member simply going missing, and the entire town where he lived was alarmed. Adelson was a Brazilian farmer in the center of his country. The day after he vanished, local villagers hunted down and slaughtered a giant alligator that they believed was responsible for his disappearance. Seeing as they had found Adelson's flip-flops and a cigarette lighter near the water, and as it turned out, the alligator absolutely was responsible. This 13-foot reptile had bones, skin, flesh, and hair found inside of its stomach. The beast probably grabbed hold of Adelson as he labored too close to the murky water, then dragged him into the river and ate him. Number 6. Limbs and a crocodile. A leg and an arm, each belonging to the same man, were found inside the stomach of a monster crocodile in Indonesia. The crocodile was undoubtedly guilty of mauling a man to his death in Borneo. Authorities were called in to deal with the rampaging reptile, which they shot to death close to a riverbank where a worker from a palm oil plantation had gone missing 2 days prior. Only his sandals and motorbike were found at the site. The man's body wasn't found until much later. His body was pulled out of the water and, of course, it was missing 2 limbs. The police spotted the crocodile swimming nearby and decided to kill it. Inside that croc's stomach, police found the man's missing limbs. Number 5. Mountain Lion Mania. The Arizona Game and Fish Department was recently forced to euthanize 3 mountain lions after they were caught munching on human remains they found on a hiking trail. The lions probably didn't kill the victim, or so says the department, but they definitely found parts of the corpse and had a feast. This is very unusual behavior as mountain lions aren't normally scavengers and don't normally eat the meat of humans. But because they had tasted human meat, the authorities weren't left with a lot of options. This is because the cats were very close to a popular hiking trail, very near to homes, and very capable of ambushing small children or lonely people, especially since they'd already tasted human blood. Number 4. Man in the Whale. James Bartley was swallowed by a sperm whale in the year 1891. It was during a whaling expedition near the Falkland Islands, one of the most remote places in the world off the coast of Argentina. James had his boat attacked by no less than a fully grown whale. During the struggle between James and the whale, He somehow ended up inside of its mouth and got swallowed whole directly into its stomach. James spent 36 hours inside of the whale before some other sailors caught the beast and then carved him out. When they finally got James outside into fresh air, his skin had been bleached beyond repair by the gastric juices in the whale's stomach. He was also blind for the rest of his life. Number 3. Nazi in a catfish. There's been a rumor going around recently that the remains of a Nazi soldier were found inside the belly of a giant catfish. The rumor comes thanks to some strange photos that have been circulating around the internet showing bones and Nazi paraphernalia allegedly found inside a catfish. The original story said that a pair of Polish fishermen found the catfish, which weighed over 410 pounds, and then they opened it up to find shards of human bone and military artifacts dating back to Germany in the Second World War. Unfortunately, this story was discovered to be, like many tall tales, a fabrication reported by a fake news outlet online. The pictures are in no way related, at least the way they're told in the story, and besides, considering the average lifespan of a catfish is only about 20 years, and seeing how they primarily eat algae and insects, there's really no way a catfish did this. Number 2. Missing in the lion cage. At a safari park in Pakistan, the skeleton of a young man was recently found inside the lion enclosure. The skull and bones of 18-year-old Mohammed Bilal, who was reported missing the day before, were found in a cage that housed 4 lions at Lahore Safari Park. According to the Daily Mail, young man had simply gone out to gather fodder for the cattle when he ended up missing. At the safari park, workers also discovered scraps of his clothing. Police are now saying that the young man snuck into the safari park, climbed into the lion enclosure, and tried to find cattle fodder to bring back home. But let me tell you, the last place you want to steal food is from a lion's enclosure. Park officials never actually opened the stomach of the lions to check for the young boy's remains. It seemed pretty obvious the big cats ate them. Number 1. The Neanderthal Boy in a bird. Researchers were recently stunned when they discovered the bones of a giant bird from the Ice Age. But it wasn't the bird itself that freaked the scientists out. Instead, it was the fact that the skeletal remains of a Neanderthal child were found within the bird. Analysis showed that there were dozens of holes in the child's bones, suggesting the child had passed through the animal's digestive system. The child was between 5 and 7 years old when it was eaten. Scientists believe the bird didn't just feed on the child after it had already died. It was much scarier than that. Now, it didn't scavenge the kid's remains. Investigators are fairly certain that the bird attacked and ate the child on purpose. The bones were found deep inside of a cave in Poland, and they go back around 50,000 years to a time when some birds were far larger than people and a lot like winged dinosaurs. So which of these animals do you think would eat you before you could eat them? Are there any of these creatures that you think you could encounter, fight, and then win? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching. And if you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button before you leave. We'll see you next time.